stools open?
Help her up. Ready? We're going to have a big old speech and all these great things to say, and the more we thought about it, or at least the more I thought about it, I kept running out of things that were really significant. Mostly we just want to thank everybody for being here. We wanted to thank my mother, who's here, and Don's father, who's watching from above, for not teaching us what to think, but teaching us how to think, and how to be unconventional and pursue the things we want, and having the confidence to believe that we could actually achieve it. One of the things that I guess we've learned is that Einstein said that the definition of insanity was doing the same thing and expecting a different result. And this time here, we've already made the mistakes of doing the things that everybody said you're supposed to do, and compromise, and all of these things that we've done in previous relationships. And this time here, as most of you know, we haven't done anything by the rules. We have totally given up 2 amazing lives, beautiful homes, and sold everything that we own to pursue a life that was unconventional, to pursue a life that, a relationship that was based where the relationship itself was the foundation and the rock of our security, and our lifestyle was the insecurity. And it created an atmosphere of adventure and not a codependency, but an interdependency. And we're doing things a little bit different, where a lot of people that decide they're going to get married they do so at the happiest, most easiest time of their life, when everything's rolling so smoothly. And we've done just the opposite. Everything, having a long-distance relationship, selling everything we own, going through the identity crisis of getting rid of all the things that you've attached your identity to, and then to buy a boat and to go pursue chasing a dream around the world together. And it's been an amazing journey, as most of you follow all of this. And I want to just thank you for all sharing, being a part of this, because you're all not just the spectators, but being here, you're part of this dream that we have, and we're deeply grateful for all of you.
This day it's not just good. When I told my friends in Oklahoma, many of them, that I had met a man that online, on Facebook of all things, and within a few days decided that I didn't want to date anyone else, having never met this man. And we started going steady over the phone. And we started a long-distance relationship for the first few months, never met each other face-to-face. But we fell in love with each other. We knew that we loved each other, and we didn't know what that was until we saw each other, until we could actually, what I call, put skin on it. And it's one of the things I'm so grateful about today, is that for you guys, you are the ones that put the skin on the love today. And there are people in my life that, like my dad, that I can't put skin on the love, but the love is there. I know he's watching. both had great lives before we met each other. Those of you who know him, that he has had a life that most people watching on the outside say, "Oh my God, he like drives for rock stars." He knows everybody in show business. And I have this idyllic place in the country with a business that I own and a property that's paid for. And I had so many people say to me, "What are you doing? Life is so good for you." Well, it was good, but I didn't want it to be just good. I was ready for my life to be amazing, not just good. And someone came along into my life that was looking for the exact same thing in another place. And we just happened to intersect at the most perfect time. We both knew how it doesn't work. We both knew how it can fail. We've both done that before. And we both
had an idea of what we knew we wanted to work.
Yes.
How it
We had an ideal of what we wanted, and we made a decision separately before we ever met each other. We had made a decision in our own hearts that we were not going to settle for anything except the best. From this point forward, no more settling. No more settling. And if that meant that I waited the rest of my life and met that person in the last few months of my life here, it was going to be worth the wait, because I wasn't going to settle. I had made up my mind. And there is an adage that Lucky uses all the time that says, infinite patience produces immediate results. And when a person really makes up their mind, it's interesting how the universe sort of conspires to prove you right. Whatever it is that you believe with your whole heart, the universe is going to conspire to prove you right. And if you believe that marriage is full of heartbreak and that relationships just end badly, then that's what's true for you, and that's generally what the universe is going to prove you right. And there was a time in my life that I felt that, and it was true for me. And if those of you that know me well, you know that I say that a lot, so that's true for you. When I made up my mind that my life was going to be amazing, and I wasn't going to stop until it was, and when it got there, I was going to keep working to make it more amazing, even if it meant selling everything I had, even if it meant letting go of everything that was good to have something that was amazing. I wasn't going to stop until I found that place. And we are stepping over thresholds in letting go of the things that were good in our lives in order to have our hands open for what was even better and more amazing for our lives. It's easier said than done when you say, I'm going to let go of the good stuff, knowing that there's more stuff, there's better stuff, there's a better life, there's a better love, there's more. And the people that love us, they're going to support us through that. And I am so thankful for those of you who made the real decision to put skin on that and be here today. You mean everything. You mean everything to me today. This day is about us celebrating our love for each other. And that you would come and do this with us and see us as we're crossing another threshold. I mean, those of you who have known me over the last couple of decades, you know how many thresholds I've had to cross and some of the pain. But when you get to this side, it doesn't matter anymore. None of it matters. So whatever you have now in your life, if it's not everything that you want, I want you to be willing to take the steps that it's going to take to get to that amazing thing that's out there for you. Because we're not just here just to exist. We're not just to survive. And I used to consider myself a survivor. I'm not. I'm a thriver now. I'll never go back to survival mode. It's not the way to live. If we're not living amazing, we need to do a real checkup.
And the other thing is that this wedding, small, quaint, is kind of indicative of how we saw the relationship. It's humble beginnings, and it's not about the beginnings. It's not about the mistakes you've made. It's not about how small that you started. It's about how you finish. And so we wanted this to be small and quaint and just simple in nature and really represent where we're starting. And you've already seen the progress over the last year and a half of us being together, and you haven't seen anything yet.
We both said it. We both said at different times, even not knowing each other yet, we both said at different times in the last couple of years, I just want to finish well. I just want to finish well. And the awesome thing about it is every single day you have an opportunity to finish well. You have an opportunity to turn it around, whatever it is, and finish well. And we've made up our minds to do that, and we're not going to stop. This is the beginning. This is the first thread. Yes. Yes, I'm married.
Yay.
That was beautiful.
You guys getting married now.
We're getting married now.
I think the sun is going to break through
perfect.
the clouds and shine on this inspiring couple. I feel really honored to be performing this ceremony and to meet all of you today. So now I will begin. Dear friends and family, we are gathered here today to witness and celebrate the union of Dawn and Lucky in marriage. In the years they've been together, their love and understanding of each other have grown and matured. Now they have decided to live together as husband and wife. True marriage begins well before the wedding day, and the efforts of marriage continue well beyond the ceremony's end. A brief moment in time and the stroke of a pen are all that is required to create the legal bond of marriage, but it takes a lifetime of love, commitment, and compromise to make marriage durable and everlasting. Today you declare your commitment to each other before family and friends. Your yesterdays were the path to this moment, and your journey to a future of togetherness becomes a little clearer with each new day. So, let's see. Do you, Lucky, take Dawn to be your lawfully wedded wife, promising to love and cherish through joy and sorrow, sickness and health, and whatever challenges you may face for as long as you both shall live? Do you, Dawn, take Lucky to be your lawfully wedded husband, promising to love and cherish through joy and sorrow, sickness and health, and whatever challenges you may face for as long as you both shall live? You have for each other special rings, symbols that love is the most precious element in your life together. The ring has no beginning and no ending, which symbolizes that the love between you will never cease. You place these rings upon each other's fingers as a visible sign of your vows this day, which will make you husband and wife. Lucky with this ring,
Lucky with this ring.
I give you my love you always, cherish you, honor you, and comfort you. I will always be grateful to God for your presence in my life. Dawn, with this ring, I give you my promise to always love you, cherish you, honor you, and comfort you. I will always be grateful to God for your presence in my life. As you stand beside the ocean tide, may your love always be as constant as these never-ending waves that pour near your feet, flowing endlessly from the depths of the sea. Your love came softly upon each other's hearts, just as the foam comes softly upon the sand. And just as there will never be a morning without the ocean's flow, so will there never be a day without love for each other. You have pledged yourselves on this day your love will be as dependable as the tide. As these waters nourish the earth and sustain life, may your constant devotion nourish and sustain you until the end of time. To symbolize their union, Lucky and Dawn have chosen a special sand ceremony. Lucky and Dawn, you have just sealed your relationship by the giving and receiving of rings. This covenant is a relationship agreement to commit yourselves to one another throughout your lives. Your marriage is symbolized by the pouring of these two individual containers of sand into the third container. One container represents you, Lucky, and all that you were, all that you are, and all that you will ever be. And the other represents you, Dawn, and all that you were, all that you are, and all that you will ever be. As these two containers of sand are poured into the third container, the individual containers of sand will no longer exist, but will be joined together as one. Just as these grains of sand can never be separated and poured again into the individual containers, so will your marriage be. Far more important than your individuality is your union, no longer two, but one, never to be separated from one another. By the powers vested in me by the state of Florida, I hereby pronounce you husband and wife. And you may kiss each other. And family and friends, may I present you Mr. and Mrs. Reed.
Yay!
Everybody will have a shell, and when I count to 3, you'll make a special wish and heave it into the water, or toward the water. Okay, so come forward and get a shell.